Hello, my name is Diane.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'm going to be doing an inspection of your head, ears, eyes, nose, and throat. So this is going to involve several steps. Mostly it's going to involve inspection. So I'm going to be examining you with my eyes, looking for things such as symmetry, anything that I see that's unusual or shouldn't be there. And it's also going to involve me touching you and what we call palpating. I'm going to be moving things and kind of pressing on things. And I'm going to be using some tools such as an otoscope and an ophthalmoscope. Those are just light sources so that I can see, okay? Things should not cause any discomfort, but if anything is painful, tender, or anything that you don't understand, stop me and ask me, because I'd be happy to explain, okay? Thank you. Well, first we're going to start with an inspection, and I'm going to look at your head. I'm going to look for symmetry. I'm going to look at your hair pattern, see how it is, what the color is, and I'm also going to check for just the symmetry of the face. Can you smile for me? Good deal. That looks beautiful, symmetry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to palpate, and I'm going to check for any lumps or bumps, checking the landmarks and your occipital. Good deal. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check your face. I'm going to find your temporal artery, and I'm going to feel for a temporal pulse. And then I'm going to reach down and I'm going to find your TMJ, and I'm going to have you open and close your jaw. Good deal. Good deal. Is there any pain or any discomfort with that? Good deal. Now I'm going to check your sinuses. Now I'm going to press on there, and if you have any pain or pressure, you let me know. Okay. Okay, good deal. Now we're going to move on to the eyes. Now the eyes, I'm going to check, of course, inspection's the first thing that we're going to do. And I'm going to check for symmetry. I'm going to look at your eyebrows, check to make sure there's no buildup of wax or anything on them, anything that's not supposed to be there. Check for the pattern of the growth. And I'm going to move down to your eyelids, check for symmetry, and make sure there's no exudate or anything on it. And check your eyes to make sure there's nothing in your eyelashes, make sure there's nothing on them. Good deal. Now I need to get a light source. This light source is so I can help me see into your eyes. It's just an otoscope, and I'm going to get this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check your lenses, and I'm going to make sure for color, symmetry, and make sure there's no foreign bodies in there. Good deal. Now I'm going to step back, and I'm going to check your pupillary reflex. And I'm looking for a point of light in there, make sure it's symmetry. Okay, looks good. And I'm going to step forward, and I'm going to check for what we call perla. And that is, I'm going to check for the roundness and the equalness of your pupils and light accommodation. And I'm also going to be checking what we call direct and consensual light. So I'm going to do 1 and 2, and that'll tell me if this one will constrict and see if the other one accommodates it. Good deal. And then I'm going to check, turn this off, and I'm going to check your visual fields, your external ocular muscles. And so I'm going to be checking your peripheral vision. So I'm going to put my fingers behind your head, and you look forward at me, and when you see them come into your field of view, you say so. Okay? And now I'm going to do high and low, so I can tell whether you can see how far you can see. Good deal. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to do what we call the 6 cardinal views. And I want you to watch my finger with your eyes, don't move your head, follow it. And I'm going to go in an H pattern. Up, back to middle, down, back to middle, across, up, back to middle, down, back to middle, up. Now I'm going to go forward. And when I go forward, I want you to watch my finger. And I'm looking for convergence. Good deal. Now I want you to look at my finger and then find a spot over my shoulder that you look at, and I'm going to want you to alternate. So look at my finger, look at the spot over the wall, and then back at my finger, and then back at the spot over the wall. I'm checking, good deal, I'm checking for constriction. Very good. And now I'm going to be using my light source again. change out my otoscope and put my ophthalmoscope in. It's another light source. I'm going to set it on 0, and I'm going to be getting pretty close to you. What I'm going to do is check for a red reflex. So I'm going to put my hand on you, and then I'm going to look into your eye, and I'm going to then magnify so I can see. Okay, and I'm looking for all of your, I'm looking for all of the different structures in your eye to make sure they're intact. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put it back to 0.
Would you like me on that side?
I'm going to get around you just a little bit, and I'm going to see if we can get it like this. Yes,
Am I doing this?
that's perfect. Okay, thank you, sir. And I'm going to get right here, and I'm going to look, and coming forward, and magnifying, and looking. Look at your macular. Looks good. Looks good. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat again. Thank you so much. And that's it for the eyes. So I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to put my light source back on my otoscope. So we're going to be using it here again in a minute. Okay, so now we're moving on to the ears. And the ears, again, we're going to inspect. We're going to check for symmetry. We're going to check for color. We're going to check for any drainage. Okay, looks good. And then I'm going to do what we call an occlusion test to see how you hear. I'm going to whisper a 2-syllable word, such as apple or baseball. And once I do that, then you tell me what you heard.
Apple.
Good job. I'm going to do the other side.
Baseball.
Good deal, good deal. Okay, now I'm going to turn my light source back on again, and we're going to check in your ears. And for adults, we pull the pinna up and back to be able to look in. And I'm going to look in, and I'm going to see the tympanic membrane, and it's pink, and the tissue going in is pink, and the membrane is pearly white, which is good. And then I'm going to check the other side, and I'm going to change ends, and I'm going to pull this up and back, and I'm going to check for tympanic membrane. Again, it's pearly white and beautiful. Good job. Good deal. Thank you. And now I'm going to be checking your nose. Again, I'm going to be doing inspection. We're going to look to make sure that it's symmetry, make sure there's no deviation, make sure there's no running. And then I'm going to get my light source again. And I'm going to be looking up your nose. So if you'll bear with me, I'm going to touch you again. I'm going to look up in here, and your terminates. Good deal. Good deal. And look up to your septum. Looks good. Looks good. No drainage, no running. Looks good. So your nose is good. Now I'm going to work on your mouth. Okay. First again, I'm going to check for symmetry. And if you can smile, looks good. Now if you open your mouth, I'm looking again. Okay, I'm going to look at your hard palate and your soft palate and your teeth. Make sure there's no missing, broken, anything. If you can say ah, I see your uvula. Looks good. Everything looks good in here. If you can lift your tongue, check your submandibular and sublingual ducts. Looks good. Now I'm going to get a glove, and I'm going to check your tongue. Okay. Now I'm going to pull on your tongue. Checking on the sides and the back. Sides and back. Good deal. Looks beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Turn my light source off. And now I'm going to check your lymph nodes in your neck. So I'm going to do the pre-auricular and the post-auricular. the tonsillar, the submandible, the submental, the anterior cervical, the anterior cervical, and the posterior cervical. And if you can turn your head this way, we're gonna check the deep cervical, and your head the other way. It's really hard to feel this one, but sometimes we can. And the subclavicular, and the infracurricular, clavicular, and the occipital. Now, I'm gonna check your trachea. I'm gonna check for alignment and see that it's midline. I'm gonna displace it just a little, and it looks good. Now I'm gonna have you scoot just a little, because I'm gonna get behind you so I can check your thyroid. Now I'm gonna check for the cricoid process and work down. Now if you can swallow for me, good deal. I feel the thyroid, and it feels good. No lumps, nothing that's not expected. And you get a clean bill of health. Thank you so much for coming in,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Gus. Thank
Sure, thank
you.
you.